We're now on the north side of the Hangang, the Han River, and here again is another expressway. And on my right is an expressway that's basically built over the river for much of its length. And so you'll see the pylons, the concrete pylons, are set into the water. It's not because the water level is high, it's just the way it normally is. And this whole construction just continues for several kilometers like this. And as I've said before, you know, cement is a universal building material. Nothing unusual about expressways made of concrete, and nothing unusual about elevated expressways. But because of the geography of South Korea, because it's very mountainous, because there's a premium on good quality land, because Seoul is so densely populated, there's a tremendous amount of this very kind of spectacular, you know, from an engineering point of view, architecture. And that's what we see here. Now you'll notice as well that there's sort of there's a steel substructure which is holding up quite a bit of this expressway. On the far end, it's cement, which is probably a sort of cladding which conceals a steel core. So both building materials being used together. But and on the left, though you can't really see it, there's a further expressway. To handle all the traffic that Seoul has, you see a lot of this very impressive engineering and architecture, but it sure does take up a lot of building materials, much more than in a city where the main concept is you build roads on land. One thing one notices outside Seoul, a little bit in Seoul, but mainly in the countryside, is there are a tremendous number of tunnels. And again, that's because of the mountainous nature of Korean geography. It's remarkably mountainous. It's a typical peninsula. Way back in the mists of primordial time, a lot of land was sort of crinkled up and crunched together by the movements of the continents. And so in order to build roads, Koreans have developed a remarkable sort of infrastructure for tunneling through mountains. What they used to do, of course, the old style technique, was to build very sort of winding, circuitous roads around mountain ranges. The tunnels actually, ironically, are green in the sense that traffic gets from point A to point B much more quickly. It doesn't have to expend energy going on these very roundabout roads. But of course, the tunneling and the highway construction means just more traffic, period. An exponential increase in the number of cars on the road because the roads can handle it. And so there's a lot of this cement building of roads that are not on land and are sort of stretched out over water because for whatever reason there wasn't available territory, enough of it. Again, you know, there still is an expressway to our left, but they've built this new one on our right. So they build a lot of these structures, you know. They build land, so to speak. They sort of create a facsimile of territory. And then there's all this tunnel building. So building a road here is a very expensive proposition compared to other countries where you just you know, basically pave over ground, territory that already exists. The government in South Korea has gotten the habit of just spending a lot on road construction, but I think that sort of feeds into the mentality that I wish would change, which is a real premium placed on cars and internal combustion type vehicles, trucks, buses. They do also keep building train track, but it's almost all the new projects that I've seen are for these KTX high-speed trains, not for regular trains. So the emphasis very much is on much more road space for gas-powered vehicles, much more track for high-speed trains, which are electric, and a little bit of money left over and spent specifically on bike trails. The bike trail system is nice, you know, when you find it, but it's obviously not a priority.